Hiya. So, I just want to continue where I left off previously, which is that I was running the app in my simulator, and the app was crashing actually due to a problem. It said preferred size is 0 for auxiliary item, and its collection layout boundary supplementary item. So back in my emotions header view, which is the collection reusable view, which is the view that has a problem here, I'm overriding preferred layout attributes fitting. So when you override this method, the layout determines what the final size for the header is and applies that to the header. And right now, I'm setting the attributes frame size height to title frame height. So I went back to my previous video and I kind of looked over what I did before, and I saw that I actually had intrinsic content size dot height. So let's just quickly review what intrinsic content size is. It says the natural size for the receiving view considering only properties of the view itself. Custom views typically have content that they display of which the layout system is unaware. Setting this property allows a custom view to communicate to the layout system what size it would like to be based on its content. This intrinsic size must be independent of the content frame because there is no way to dynamically communicate a changed width to the layout system based on a changed height, for example. If a custom view has no intrinsic size for a given dimension, it can use no intrinsic metric for that dimension. So I think what's interesting is that this says there's no way to dynamically communicate a changed width to the layout system based on a changed height, for example. Okay, so that means somehow they're not related, like the width and the height. If one changes, the other doesn't necessarily trigger an update. So this intrinsic size must be independent of the content frame because there's no way to dynamically communicate a changed width to the layout system based on a changed height, for example. Okay, so if it's not dependent on the content frame, then I'm not really sure what else it uses. It says since setting this property allows a custom view to communicate to the layout system what size it would like to be based on its content. Okay, that's fine. But so why was this triggering like a crash? Well, actually, I think what the message in the debugger was preferred size is 0 for the auxiliary item. So I think the frame's height was probably set to 0 when this method got called. Maybe, I'm not really sure. I'm just like kind of, trying to make some guesses based on what I know. Based on what I just read regarding the intrinsic content size, which was saying that it must be independent of the content frame because there's no way to communicate a changed width to the layout system based on a changed height, for example. So I wonder if this means that any changes to the frame of the label don't get communicated via the frame, like the frame of the label, which we're just initializing as a UI label here. So maybe the frame just maintains its size of 0. I can probably just, do a quick check. So what is the size of a frame of a UI label when using auto layout? Let me read this. One thing this thing says is when using intrinsic content size, this requires using the view's content hugging and compression resistance priorities, which can add additional complications. So that's something to be aware of. I'm just looking for anything else about intrinsic content size here. It seems to be mostly about constraints. Yeah, it wasn't really helpful. Okay, this might be worth doing a follow-up video on at some point. So, but basically, this was triggering a crash while this works. So let's just move on. You can see it's quite late, so I'm trying to get through this a bit quickly. Okay, so the crash is gone, which is great. We're back to the point we were in the last video when I overrided this method. I think we were sort of also looking at the setting the spacing around the header, which this was saying that, or I was using content spacing before, which said that the content in sets, yeah, I meant content in sets, sorry, which said that the value of this property is ignored for any access that uses an estimated value for its dimension, which we are using here. So maybe I can ask, how do I set the content in sets on a header using estimate? Okay. So I think this person is having an issue with the sizing of the cells, which isn't really what I'm looking for. Let's check this article. I don't see anything about header padding in this article. It just says it's easy to add a header, which is here. I'm not sure what kind of, like, if he has any spacing around the header. It's not really explained very clearly. So, so let me just review my question one more time. How do I set the content in sets on a header view when using estimated height dimension compositional layout? Oh, let's see this one. Yeah, this is what we saw earlier regarding the content and sets being ignored. Uh, when using the estimated height dimension. He's saying something about compositional layout, being able to pass a configuration, the spacing between sections, intersection spacing. Return compositional layout, section provider, configuration. I mean, we only really have one section in our collection view, so applying this to spacing between sections, I don't think that's gonna change anything with the header. Right. Okay. So at this point, I think I'm just gonna probably give up. I'm trying to add padding like around the header. Yeah. Just because I don't want to spend too long on this. What I will try doing instead is setting an absolute offset. Right? Section comment top. Although I was modifying a value earlier, which worked. Let me try this one more time. Hopefully this adds some padding to the top. Yeah, it does. Okay, great. So if I push this title leading top, constraint equal to top, try to add a constant, see if it moves the label. Let's say 20. Yeah, no, I'm not sure exactly what happened here. Like why this is now appearing truncated. Yeah, that wasn't really smart, I guess. So going back. This kind of works. So I have my header frame here. Sorry, header frame. This is my header. Oh god. Okay, but why does the title now appear to be like it has some extra space between the header and the label, which should not be there? Maybe if I set this to 0. Yeah, try that. Okay, I see that. Yeah, that issue's been fixed, where now the label is just aligned inside of the header view the way it should be. But I think I just wanted a bit more spacing to the left. So I'm just gonna put 24 here. Put this back as maybe I'll do that 12. Yeah, I don't think there's much else I can do with this right now, so I'm just gonna leave it there. So now there was another problem where when I was rotating this view, from portrait to landscape, my button was sort of like appearing at the top of the screen for like a second and then just disappearing. Looks to be fine now. I'm not sure what that issue is. Yeah, cool. Why don't we try running this on an iPad simulator and see what it looks like there. Right, so while that's loading, I'll check quickly how I can adjust the dynamic type size, like the type size. I think it's in general. No. Accessibility. Yeah, display larger text on. It's probably not the one I'm looking for. General. Camera. Let me go back here. Yeah. Okay, so I'll come back to this later. First, let's see what this looks like on the iPad. So I see that, yeah, I still have the 2 columns with these like cells, which is good. The header is there, which is good. I see the tab bar looks different. I'm not sure when this changed, like on iPad, but it has this like, oh yeah, there's a problem with my button. See how it just kind of like briefly appears there? Just the title does. It's a bug that I need to sort out. But yeah, so the tab bar looks interesting. Why is it at the top of the screen? Okay, let me try rotating to landscape. Yeah, this resizes nicely. I think I have a good layout like going on here. I'm happy with how the screen resizes. How do you run an app and how do you multitask? Let's try that. Oh. Yeah, I don't know how to run multitasking repos. Small white bar on the left. Has anyone seen that? A small white bar on the left edge of the slide over app. Yeah, I was kind of expecting it to like just do it automatically. It's not. How to activate split view. This says that I need to have all the orientations turned on, which I thought I did. Let's try this. Oh, did you see it said split view not supported? Oh, there it is. Okay. Cool. So yeah, it looks good in split view. Like it's resizing well. The tab bar now appears at the bottom of the screen. Wonder why. Yeah, it looks good in landscape split view. I think I'm happy with how the layout works. So the screen is probably, or the window for the app, for my app, is probably changing screen size classes when I drag this separator between them. So I think this is the compact size class where it presents the tab bar at the bottom. But when I stretch it, it goes into regular screen, regular class, regular size class for the window, which alters the layout for some of the elements on the screen. So, yeah, benefits of using size classes. Oh. Okay, so there was a problem with the button. I don't see it showing up right now, like let me try reopening it. Yeah, I don't see the problem, like it's not coming up. Okay, I was looking here to see how this responds to dynamic text size changes. Okay, so if I open the photos, so I see the size of the text changed here. Why isn't it changing in my app? Why don't I turn this on as well here, since we're working with the same orientations. So if I turn this around, I need to rerun it. Yeah, so So this says that we need to make some changes, among other things. Yeah, I might need to come back to this later to address the self-sizing, the dynamic sizing of the text, because right now it's not really working. I probably didn't set it up to begin with. I just thought that using the system font would automatically take care of that, which it did not. Okay, so we have more work to do. Yeah. it's almost 11 o'clock. Yeah. What I wanted to show you guys was that I actually have another screen, which is like here. But first, I probably need to commit my changes. So let me do that first. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking through what I need to stage, what changes I need to stage. Yeah, so what I actually wanted to show was the other screen which I have. I had initially removed that screen because I was gonna redesign it, but I think I'm just gonna bring the old screen back for my second tab. So what happens if I click on stage here? Unstage all of these. Oh, just come back. Nice. Yeah. So I was going to commit the changes I made first, but if I do that, then I need to switch branches here to my old Emotion Explorer View Controller branch and bring back the changes to my dev branch, which will take some work. So I'm kind of tempted to where is that? Here. Yeah, I was tempted to undelete the files that I deleted so I don't go back and bring them back from a different branch, but that wouldn't be very good like Git practice. What I could do is just, after committing these changes, I could go back to the individual files and create new files and copy the code there, just because I know I'm going to end up with like Git conflicts, which I really don't want to sort through. If I commit these changes and then try to apply changes from a different branch to this one. Yeah, I think it's late and I'm not thinking very clearly right now, so I don't want to like mess anything up. So, if I commit right now, then I would lose all of these files. Therefore, I will unstage them. Yeah, I'll just unstage everything that I deleted. I'll bring back all the files which I deleted from a different feature I was working on. And continue from there tomorrow. Morning when I wake up. Okay, thank you. So I'll see you later. Bye.